It was the case that kept Plymouth investigators digging for answers.
Our detectives are extremely busy.
And left a family grieving the loss of a husband, father, and coach.
This is the world we live in, people. Is this the world we want to pass to our children?
Now, police announce an arrest.
This was truly a needle in a haystack.
Plymouth police have announced the arrest of a 33-year-old Chicago man in connection to the fatal shooting of Jay Boughton. It follows a nearly 2-month investigation after the shooting on Highway 169. Delane Cleveland was at a Thursday afternoon press conference, and he has more details.
Last Tuesday, August 24th, a team comprised of Plymouth police detectives, United States Marshals, and officers from the Decatur, Illinois Police Department located and arrested a suspect for second-degree murder.
That suspect is 33-year-old Jamal Lindsay Smith, a resident of Chicago. Chief Fadden didn't provide details on how they were able to track down the suspect, but he says his department spent more than 1,500 hours investigating the case.
This was truly a needle in a haystack, that our detectives, the public, primarily our detectives, they never stopped digging and working and knocking on doors and reviewing video after video after video. And finally, you get that little break every once in a while and it leads to something else and you're, off to that and knocking on more doors.
Boughton was shot on July 6th on southbound Highway 169 in Plymouth as he drove home with his 15-year-old son to Crystal from his son's baseball game. Boughton veered off the road, went through a fence, and crashed into parked cars outside of an apartment complex.
I continue to not classify this as a road rage. It was really just a senseless act that happened in a brief moment when two vehicles were next to each other.
Video from traffic cameras was blurred that night because of rain, but police say the shooter's vehicle was a silver Chevy Suburban, model years 2015 to 2020. Investigators announced in mid-August that they recovered a vehicle matching that description.
That was instrumental in this case. That helped, just add another tidbit to the investigation, absolutely.
But it's an investigation that remains ongoing. Chief Fadden says people are still encouraged to provide tips. As of Thursday afternoon, Smith had not been formally charged in Boughton's death.
Our detectives are continuing to follow leads, conduct interviews, and painstakingly review additional evidence.
No word yet on when the suspect will be extradited from Illinois. He is currently in custody at the Macon County Jail. Reporting in Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Many police departments across Minnesota are suffering from staffing shortages. It's so bad, some law enforcement experts are calling it an epidemic. The Brooklyn Center Police Department is down about 25% of its staff, and they're having a hard time recruiting officers. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us what's behind the dwindling numbers.
Brooklyn Center Police are working a little harder these days to make up for the slim staff.
They just feel drained.
The staffing shortages come at a time when the city's working on reforming the police department after former officer Kim Potter fatally shot Dante Wright back in April.
That was one officer out of 48. But it's like the whole department's getting painted with the same brush, and they just feel like they've been abandoned by the city administration there.
49 officers are budgeted for the Brooklyn Center Police Department, and currently there are 12 officers who are no longer with the department.
They have 3 other officers that are out, sounds like on long-term medical issues. And then you have 2 of them that are in field training. So they only have 32 out of 49 that can actually respond to a call for service.
But according to Mortensen, the more troubling part is that about a dozen other officers are looking for employment elsewhere.
If you have officers that are leaving in droves, and then you have more in the pipeline still wanting to leave, there's issues that need to get taken care of there.
The police union says many officers are leaving because they don't feel like they have support from city leaders.
These officers have to have support from their upper administration, and that they're not going to get thrown under the bus. And that's how these officers feel, that they have no support from their leadership. And so that's why they're leaving.
City Manager Reggie Edwards says that's not the case and that the goal is to provide quality public safety.
I can say that leadership highly values our staff at Brooklyn Center, including our police officers. They are critical to the safety of our residents.
In Brooklyn Center, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
A Golden Valley nonprofit is gearing up to help people in Louisiana affected by Hurricane Ida. Headwaters Relief Organization provides disaster relief throughout the United States and all around the world. The Golden Valley Agency runs the River of Hope Mental Resource Center in New Orleans' 9th Ward that was set up in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina. After search and rescue operations are complete, Minnesota volunteers from Headwaters are expected to head south to help. It's already a busy time for the relief organization. Headwaters is also involved with helping earthquake victims in Haiti.
It's a challenge always, and after any major form of disasters, the number of volunteers are always limited. But the good thing is people are welcoming those relief efforts, and they're contributing towards it.
Hurricane Ida made landfall on Sunday with sustained winds of 150 miles per hour. More than 1 million people in Louisiana remain without power. Thursday in Wayzata, a celebration to honor a congressman who supporters say tried to bridge divides and reach across aisles. The Wayzata Post Office was renamed for Representative Jim Ramstad, who served the 3rd Congressional District for 9 terms. Ramstad passed away last fall. U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar and Congressman Dean Phillips, who now represents the 3rd District, pushed legislation to make the name change happen. Phillips said Thursday that Ramstad modeled the very behavior that is the antidote to what the country is suffering from right now.